Coventry City could face expulsion from the Football League over the ongoing issues with the Ricoh Arena in Coventry. Their lease runs out. The owners of Coventry City, Sisu, who are a London-based hedge fund, are in a legal spat with Wasps, the rugby union team that used to play in London and moved in 2014 and bought the Ricoh Arena. Since the Ricoh Arena has been built, it's been nothing but problems. The EFL board has requested that Coventry City provide details by the 5th of March over their intentions for next season. Coventry City have said their only option is to continue playing at the Ricoh. And, you know, the EFL board has informed Coventry that unless a satisfactory solution can be found, according to the BBC website, within the next 2 months they will need to call an extraordinary general meeting of all 72 Football League clubs to consider expelling the team from the league and any future membership should they come back from the non-league to the Football League at any point, should they go down that route. If an extraordinary general meeting is called, it will be held on the 25th of April, because obviously promotion and relegations at the end of the season will be taking place. And it is interesting because Coventry City and Wasps have been going through a legal issue. A judicial review was asked for by Sisu, the owners of Coventry City, over the 2014 sale of the Ricoh, because Coventry City are claiming that the stadium was undervalued. But there's also ongoing legal issues with the previous owners as well, Arena Coventry. So since the Ricoh has existed, it's been nothing but trouble for all parties. And Wasps came in and solved some of the uncertainty of the Ricoh's future by buying the stadium and moving the club from London to Coventry in 2014. But because of the issues with Arena Coventry, it saw Coventry City play at Northampton Town Sixfield Stadium for the 2013-2014 season. So there's been ongoing issues for more than 5 years, if not longer, since the stadium was built. And could the EFL have stepped in sooner? Possibly. Football governance is under the spotlight with obviously Chelsea's transfer ban, the FA being fined. The EFL have shown a lack of leadership, I think, across many areas when it comes to football clubs and their owners and stadium issues and financial issues over the years. Fans aren't really trusting of the Football League and the FA at the moment, or the Premier League for that matter, and it does make the fit and proper persons test seem a little bit of a joke, if I'm honest. All Sisu have to do is drop their legal challenge against the sale of the stadium and they can have a lease renewed. It's more complicated than that. Wasps did save the stadium financially in the sense that Arena Coventry made a mess of running it before. So Wasps have sort of saved the future of the Ricoh, but at the same time they could have done a joint ownership with Coventry City, I suppose. There is issues over the sale of the Ricoh to Wasps back in 2014. Arena Coventry clearly mishandled the whole running of the stadium. But it makes you wonder why Coventry left their old stadium. Yes, it was old at Highfield Road. It was an old stadium. They were cash strapped. I get that, but it does raise a question about football clubs that rent their stadium rather than own their stadium, and it's a wider issue for sport in general. We know at the lower levels of professional sport in this country, money is a problem. We've seen it in multiple sports, especially with teams that don't own their arena, their stadium, their ice rink, whatever it may be, and they have to pay a rental to an owner. There have been issues across multiple sports in this country. Coventry City aren't the only team and club to go through this. It's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks into the beginning of March and then onwards into the late end of April, should it get to an extraordinary general meeting. So it's going to be interesting to see if a solution can be found. Part of the problem is Coventry's ownership. Sisu. That's part of the issue, as far as I'm aware, and what knowledge I have on the situation, which I will admit I'm not completely clued up. There's more to it than just Sisu asking for a judicial review into the sale of the stadium. Obviously, Wasps bought the stadium from Arena Coventry, who made a mess of running it in the first place, but since the Ricoh has been built, it's been nothing but a hot potato for the Coventry area. That includes the City Council. So there are a lot of vested interests here, a lot of parties who really have failed. And that's part of the issue is Coventry City's owners, their current ownership group, which is a hedge fund. So, that's part of the problem, not the solution. Coventry off the field have had a lot of financial difficulties since they since they got relegated from the Premier League all those years ago. So in the last 20 odd years has been real difficult for Coventry City fans, and and the club, and it's not the players' fault, it's not the fans' fault, it's the people who own the club. And I think Wasps need to take some responsibility as well, because if they can agree a tenancy, that means Wasps can earn more money, because we know there's issues within rugby union with finance as well, across a multitude of leagues and clubs. And it's a real messy situation that all parties find themselves in. But Coventry City are threatened with expulsion from the Football League for next season. That is a real possibility that could happen if there's a majority. I think it's a 2/3 majority of Football League clubs have to vote in favour, I believe, of expelling a club. So obviously Coventry City are going to vote to stay in. They have to encourage as many Football League clubs to vote on their way, because I believe it's a 2/3 majority have to vote in a certain favour for this to take place. So I wouldn't be surprised if Coventry City are talking to as many other clubs as possible about them staying in. But I think they might have to find another ground to play at, even though it's the most obvious and logical solution to keep them playing there. We'll see. But thank you very much for watching. If you are a Coventry City fan, this has been a disaster from day one at the Ricoh. I'm not going to lie. The Ricoh has been a hot potato now for quite some time, and it's also one of the stadiums listed for the Rugby League World Cup, so the ongoing issues with the Ricoh could affect a multitude of things. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see if Wasps can come to an agreement with Sisu about continuing the lease, as they are now the stadium owners. And Wasps spent a lot of money in getting that stadium, and that's a big overlay, and Wasps, had to structure their finances differently after the sale and all sorts. So it's more than just football that's affected here. It's rugby union, it's rugby league as well. So Coventry, as a city, as a sports city, needs to look at this situation, and whether Coventry City fans can buy the club off Sisu, which would be kind of nice, or someone can buy the club off Sisu and come to a better agreement and drop the legal challenge while a solution's found. I wouldn't be surprised if Coventry City at some point down the line build a new stadium elsewhere in the Coventry area, because this has been an ongoing issue for nearly 20 years. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, place your comments below, and I will have some videos for you soon.